So you want to give up on the twin flame journey? Don't we all, friend? Don't we all? Maybe you've been there in the past but aren't there now. Maybe you actually have given up on the twin flame journey and have found that it maybe isn't working out so well for you. Whatever the case, I just want to let you know that you are not alone. This is very common. In fact, I myself am in this exact place right now, which is why I felt the need to do this video. So to be totally honest, I am super nervous about this video. Usually I'm super excited. Today I'm super nervous because this is going to be a little different from the videos I typically do. This is going to be an exercise in shadow work and vulnerability for me because I recently was triggered by my twin flame journey, and I typically like to wait to kind of process my emotions and feel through things before I really talk about them. But I've been getting hits that I need to just share in the darkness, as I'm moving along on my journey, to kind of be more relatable to people. So I hope that you take away something awesome from this and that you find it relatable in some way, and would love to hear your feedback in the comments. But before I get too deep into that, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Hannah, and I help people to own their powers and step into the driver's seat of their own lives. And today we're going to be doing that by hopefully letting you know that you're not alone on this journey and sort of validating your experience. Because like I said, I've experienced this so many times on this journey. It's been like 2.5 years. I've experienced it so many times. It's super normal. And I want to normalize the kind of despair that comes along sometimes with this journey. And I want you to know this video might get a little rambly as I just kind of talk about my personal experiences and anecdotes and describe my situation, but I do have 3 concrete takeaways that I hope to share with you all. So I do encourage you to stay around till the end because there's some real gold there. Real gold, let me tell you. Hopefully I'll be able to save a lot of you guys the time and suffering that I myself have gone through. So that being said, what's happened for me specifically recently is I reached out to my twin flame, totally harmless, because I'm actually moving to his country and I just had a question about that. So I reached out to him only to find out that I've basically been blocked, which, oh man, dagger to my heart. Oh my gosh. I wasn't actually blocked. I'll get more into that later. But it seems like I've been maybe muted and archived, so essentially blocked. But this has been like such a trigger for me because there is always, again, the egoic part of me that's like, oh yeah, like me and my twin are above the whole blocking thing. It's super common on the twin flame journey, but I was always so convinced it would never actually happen with us. I know I would never actually do that to him, even though sometimes when I've been triggered, I've wanted to. I assumed he wouldn't do the same to me because I've always been very respectful of his space, at least from my perspective. Maybe he doesn't think so. But I'm like, I only reach out like a couple times each year. I don't really bomb him with messages ever. I rarely send 2 messages in a row if he hasn't responded. I'm really, really careful about that. So I just assumed it was something that would never actually happen to me. And now, to just twist the dagger after stabbing me in the heart, it's like I'm moving to his country. I assumed that we would be getting closer now as a result, that we would maybe be able to be friends again, now that I'm going to be physically closer to him. And instead of getting closer, it now seems like we are farther away than ever before. Like I can't actually talk to him because he's never really going to see my messages. And I just, oh my gosh, I just went into complete despair for a few days there. I was so upset. And I have actually processed that as of filming this, even though it's still fresh. if I really did a super vulnerable video, like right in the middle of that, it wouldn't even be possible. It would just be like hours upon hours of me just sobbing my eyes out because I can't even talk when I'm like in that zone. But yeah, for I would say a solid 48-hour period, I was just crying my eyes out, like processing so many emotions. It just came out of nowhere, just triggered the hell out of me. And I'm like, oh man, like I haven't even interacted with him. Like he didn't even send me a message. He didn't even interact with me. And just like the realization of something that he did probably months ago sets me off like that. I'm like, God damn it. So frustrating sometimes. So before I get too rambly, I'm going to kind of bring it back in because I could just rant about this for hours on end and I don't want to ramble and waste your time. So I basically noticed that this was a pattern. Reflecting on it, I noticed that every single time I thought we were going to be closer in some capacity, something crazy would happen and make us go further and further apart. And I'm still kind of in the thick of it, not really sure what it means. On one hand, part of me is like, it's ego death. Because the part of you that thinks you're going to get closer, that's actually just the ego being like, yeah, we're totally going to get closer. It's going to be amazing. And it's writing all these like fairy tale romance novels about it. And each time it kind of like sheds a layer of that ego. So I think that's probably what it is. But then there's also this annoying part of me that I've also noticed every single time that's like, well, he's clearly not my twin flame. Right? He's not my twin. Well, how could he be my twin if I'm like doing all this work on myself and instead of us coming closer together, we're just getting farther and farther apart? Isn't that indication that he's not my twin? So that leads us, friends, to takeaway number one that I realized this time after about 2.5 years on this journey. It doesn't matter if they're your twin or not. Amazing, right? Like, I hope I blew some people's minds there. It certainly blew my mind. I kind of known this on a level for all this time, but only with this recent trigger did it finally click. It does not matter if they are your twin or not. That is the ego talking. Because at a 5D and above level, you're always connected to your true twin flame, whether it is this person that you think it is in the 3D or not. You're always connected to your true twin flame. So it does not matter whether this person in the 3D is your twin flame or not. I hope that makes sense and that gives some people the same aha that it gave me. So I was working for a while with a twin flame coach myself. And for those of you who feel like you would like assistance on your twin flame journey from someone who gets it, feel free to hit me up because I happen to have twin flame coaching slots available right now and am more than happy to help you. But anyways, shameless plug over. When I was working with a twin flame coach, I remember kind of like belaboring this point, like lamenting over this, like, oh, what if he's not actually my twin? There's a part of me that was afraid to really fully like commit to the idea of this person being my twin flame. And my coach told me it doesn't really matter. Basically, feel free to go into the idea that someone is your twin, like in the moment. Because all we really have is the present moment. So if in this moment you think someone is your twin flame and you just feel it, you know it in your bones, then follow that feeling, trust that feeling. Even if you can't contact your twin because they've blocked you or whatever, just trust that feeling. And know it doesn't matter whether or not they're actually your twin flame. Maybe as you continue to do your healing work, you will discover that they're not your true twin flame, that they were just meant to activate you spiritually. And that's totally cool. But for the time being, if that's the person who you believe is your twin flame, there's nothing wrong with believing that they're your twin flame and fully committing to that idea. It kind of comes down to this surrender, trusting in the divine to kind of provide you with your true twin flame exactly when you need them. So if you believe someone's your twin and they're not actually, know that when your true twin flame is meant to come in, they'll come in. So that's kind of what I've done here. I'm like, okay, maybe he's my twin, maybe he's not my twin. Guess it doesn't really matter. I know that I'm always connected to my twin on the higher dimensions, and that my true twin is going to come to me in divine timing. So it's just all about surrendering control, trusting that it's going to work out. So takeaway number 2, kind of going off of that, is know that your feelings and that the experiences that you've had in the past with your twin, they're valid. No one can take those from you. And I'm going to validate that for you now, because oftentimes, like, everyone in our realities on this journey thinks we're freaking insane. Even if they don't say it to us, they think we're insane. And I myself constantly, I know I fluctuate. When I get triggered by my twin, I'm like, oh man, I'm crazy. Clearly, I'm just obsessed. Like, I'm so traumatized and love deprived that, like, the first person ever to show me like some semblance of unconditional love, I just like latched on to. How sad and pathetic am I? And I also have thought, like, maybe it's this limerence thing, which you might want to look up. It's like a psychology term about, it has to do with infatuation with a person or the idea of a person. So I always cycle between this myself, and I know that people in my reality, even though they're not saying it, very much have these same feelings about me. When I'm always like lamenting, I get triggered by my twin again, and they're just like, oh God, here we go again with Hannah's, like, you know, Rachel Ross on again, off again, like twin flame story. I know my friends, to not say like my friends haven't been super supportive. They have been, actually. I'm super grateful for my friends and all the support they've given me. They've been very kind, and they've listened to me and my despair and my rants, and I super appreciate that. But at the same time, I don't really have any friends that I'm aware of at this time that are also on the twin flame journey. So they don't understand. As much as they try to, they literally cannot understand. And I know with me, it's been like 2.5 years now. So many of my friends have reached the point of fatigue with me in this situation, where they'll hear me out and stuff, and they'll be like, yeah, Hannah, we trust you're going to be with your twin in divine timing. But I see it in their eyes. They feel bad for me. They pity me. They're judging me a little bit. They're like, wow, poor Hannah. She used to be so strong, like such a strong, independent woman. Didn't need no man. And now here she is. How the mighty have fallen. She is like totally being played by this guy that from their perspective is a total asshole and like totally toxic. And I can just see that pity. I feel it from them. And it makes me think, I'm like, oh man, am I just that pathetic? Am I just that sad? But what I've realized, especially this most recent time, is it does not matter what anyone else is saying or doing or thinking of me. Even my twin in the 3D. My feelings are valid. And this is what it really comes down to on this journey. This is why so many of us on the twin flame journey experience this. It's the true test of self-love and self-trust. Even when no one and nothing in your reality is giving you anything tangible to work from, no real support, can you still validate your own feelings? Can you still validate the memories, the good memories that you've had with your twin? Because I'm like, I've reached a point, I'm like, you know what? Well, I love this person. I love my twin. That's just how it is. You know, it's just how it is. There's nothing I can do to really change that. So I might as well just surrender to it and allow that to flow rather than resisting it and trying to shut it out and call myself crazy for having these feelings. As long as you're not, being like a total stalker and you're like disrespecting your twin's space and stuff. As long as you're respecting their space, you're not really hurting anyone. I say, why not just feel your feelings, validate your feelings? I hope that resonates with some people. That makes sense. This is getting through. Again, maybe no one in your reality is going to validate you, but I'm here to validate you right now, my friend. Your feelings are valid. Your experiences are valid. Takeaway 3, and this is by far the biggest one for me. Collective sigh. Sometimes you can't actually know. And this is really like kind of loaded wording because I still remember having a conversation with my twin about something at some point, and it really struck a chord with me when he said this to me. He's like, yeah, sometimes we just can't know. And it didn't strike me until like this moment, like how resonant that actually was for me. If you saw my most recent video about the dragon higher self, I'd encourage you to check that out. I'll link it above if you haven't seen it. But I talk about how me and like many in my collective, maybe you, friendly viewer, kind of have this disconnect between like knowing something and experiencing it. And I'm just generally this type of person that I really want things to be logical and to make sense. As long as they make sense and they're logical to me, awesome. I can accept anything. I can have so much empathy for people and their situations and just be in the flow and in the surrender. But what I've realized on this journey with specifically this most recent trigger is that I can't always know. And that is my ego talking. My ego wants to always know. And that's a form of control, to always like know why someone's doing something, why something is happening, to understand. And sometimes the most sovereign thing we can do, again, is just throw our hands up and surrender and be like, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. And it's okay to be in that state. Maybe eventually someday it will make sense. Maybe it never will. Either way, it's okay. That is the true test of surrender, is to just be like, you know what? I don't know. A specific example to ground this from what I'm like currently experiencing it is like, so with my twin, right, he didn't actually block me. He just allegedly like muted and archived me. So immediately, the part of me that wants to know, which I guess is my ego, is like, well, why didn't he actually block me? Why didn't he just block me? Is he trying to like hide me from his girlfriend? Is he even still seeing his girlfriend? Like, does he still want to have access to anything I send, but just on his timing, like when he feels okay? Does he still have feelings for me, but just doesn't know exactly how to handle that? Or does he like just have no feelings for me whatsoever, has no drama with his girlfriend, and quite simply didn't want to like hurt my feelings or something by blocking me outright? And I've reached a point, I'm like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. And I can't know. I really can't know. And that's the final lesson that I've learned. And I'm still kind of processing. I'm working with the layers that are coming up. But it's like, I literally cannot know. So I'm going to stop torturing myself and try and fill in the holes. And I know there's a quote from Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power show, from Galadriel. I forget what it is. I just know when she said it, I was like, oh man, that's like channeled straight from my guides right now. That's exactly what I needed to hear. I believe it's in episode 7. So if you haven't seen that, just pay attention. It's the scene where she's talking to the boy, like she's giving him like a pep talk in the aftermath of this like crazy battle or something. And she talks about like how you can't like torture yourself by like filling in the blanks, essentially. I don't know what the quote is. It's killing me. If someone knows the exact quote, please leave it in the comments below. Super would appreciate that. But anyways, friends, that's all I've got for today. Hopefully I can make more videos updating you as I move through this crazy, torturous situation of mine. And until then, what I would like to know from you today, if you don't mind being vulnerable now and sharing, is like, where are you at now on your journey? Are you in a similar place to me? Like, has your twin blocked you? Are you maybe in union with your twin? So I'm curious, like, feel free to commiserate with me or to inspire me and others watching this video by sharing stories of union. I'm super curious to hear where you guys are at. And again, if you are at a point where you're really struggling with your twin flame journey and you'd like extra support, I'm more than happy to assist. Like I said, I currently have coaching slots available as of filming this video. Don't know where we'll be in the future there, but I'll link in the description a way to work with me one-on-one. And I will say, like, I'm not gonna claim to be a twin flame guru. Obviously, if this video wasn't proof, I'm still in this journey myself. Like, I'm still in the trenches with you. But I found too that allows me to be more relatable to my clients. I might be a few steps ahead of you on the journey, even though I'm still on the journey to union myself. Because like it has been 2.5 years now, and each time I interact with my twin, new triggers are released and I'm healed more and more, and I get more and more revelations. So I'm super happy to work with you, to listen to your story, because that's really important, to have someone that actually understands, right? That understands, that can listen to your story. I would say that's the number one takeaway on this journey is it's like, how therapeutic is it to work with someone that knows what it's like? Yeah, listen to your story, and then we can kind of work through triggers and energetic blocks that are kind of keeping you from your twin, so you can kind of speed up union, but really just your self-healing, because that's what this journey is all about. It's stepping into self-healing, self-confidence, self-trust, and flow with life. And I can say with confidence this time, I feel like I'm so close, friends. I'm so close. I feel so much more guru-like than I ever have before. And every time I experience a trigger with my twin, like I get closer and closer to that zone, that like enlightened zone, right? Oh, and it's so nice and it's so worth it. So final takeaway, if you are awesome and you've stuck around to the very end of this video, kudos to you. Congrats for your patience. The final takeaway, my friends, is this journey, it is so worth it. As torturous as it's been, as rough and challenging as it's been for me, I would not take back a single thing. It's all been worth it. I wouldn't be speaking to you today on YouTube. I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. I wouldn't have started my own business had it not been for the triggers kind of triggered by my twin flame. So I can tell you, even not being in union right now, this journey is worth it. Keep going. Oftentimes when we try to resist the journey, we try to give up on the journey, it just like bites back that much harder. So might as well just throw your hands up and surrender, my friends. With that being said, much love. I love you. I hope you know that you are so loved, that you are always connected, protected, and loved by your twin, by the dragons, by your higher self and spirit guides, by me in this community. Keep going. You're awesome. Stay powerful.